San Antonio, Texas. A man with a mission and a mission on his mind. The man behind the wheel and keeping it real. Glad you win.
Let's go.
Thank you for joining us tonight on the Keeping It Real show. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe right here on Facebook to the Keeping It Real show. Now, enjoy the show. Laker Monkey making it back.
Did freak size last night.
It's been a while since we've seen the monkey.
He kind of helped me at that $100,000 class the other day. He helped me.
Oh, I did see that post.
Yeah, so
I did see that post. Hey, everybody!
He got out of the man cave and went to work for a little bit. So he knows I'm leaving tomorrow. So
welcome to a live version of the Keeping It Real show. Tonight we have Miss Madison Nirenstein going to be joining with us here in just a little bit. You know, if you haven't liked the Keeping It Real show yet, please do so. We also have a Facebook. We have a YouTube page now where all of these shows end up going to YouTube after we're done. I probably shouldn't say that real loud because Facebook and YouTube don't get along real good. But anyway, they will be there. So it is the Horse Show Network there on YouTube. And share this. So you guys can all go to your phone right now and you can share it. It can go live right now as we are talking. So thank you for joining us tonight. And for all those you that are going to be joining us in the future, which that happens a lot, our 6 o'clock hour sometimes kind of hurts us on the live deal, but doesn't hurt us overall. So Tim, congratulations to your Los Angeles Lakers again last night, bud. Maybe that's why you brought the Laker monkey out and it's just got LeBron like acting like he's 28 years old again.
He must have been resting up. That's why. Maybe because his son was played 3 minutes, huh?
Oh, did he get to play last night?
Yeah, 3 minutes, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, 1 turnover.
All right. And I'm at the helm tonight, by the way, everybody. So if you see me looking around and looking down, I am I've got to do all the producer stuff, all that tonight. But again, thank you for bearing with me on that ahead of time. And I'll say, like I always do, let's everybody try to get us. Let's just start with 50 likes tonight. How about that? But I think we can get it up higher than that. So if you're watching tonight, make sure you keep clicking on that like button every time you come in. And I'll keep saying that same thing. I may even type it up there and make sure people help us get up there. So anything else that you, any order of business? I know we did an interview with Corey Cushing this week that we recorded. So you guys keep a heads up for that. We'll get that edited and ready to pop out one of these Wednesday nights. But it was a great interview. It'll be a 2-episode interview. Corey was awesome. So make sure you keep your eyes open for that. Hi, honey. My wife just logged on. How about that? Awesome. I told Madison before the show, I said, my wife's a fan too. So that's a big reason why we have Miss Madison going to be joining us here shortly. Tim heads out to, where are you going, buddy? Where are you going?
Amsterdam, London, Sweden.
And how long? Like 2-3 weeks?
3 weeks. Be gone for a while.
Me too. I go Washington, Colorado, Ohio, Vegas, home.
Yeah.
Almost.
Congratulations to everyone at level 1 in Ohio.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can't. It's so weird. It's so weird that's it's going on. I don't know. It feels like it's, I don't know. It's a whole nother world because they just had Ocala and now they're running up there to Ohio.
Right. Quite that little ride. Props to my little friend Charlie. I think she was reserve in the level 1 youth today, 13 under. It's a good job, Charlie.
Trail?
Yeah. They sent me a picture. Yeah. Excited for my team.
Nice.
Good job, kids.
Nice. Okay. Are you ready to roll?
Yes.
I see Miss Madison waiting patiently. Let's rock and roll. Let's go, Madison.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome.
Wow.
Thank you for joining us. I know it's early for you out there. You're 2 hours ahead, right?
Yeah, it's 4 Pacific here.
Beautiful. You get to eat dinner at a regular time out there when we're done.
Tonight.
For me?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that far yet. I'll let you know later.
Okay.
We'll
Wow.
see.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in real quick. So why don't you tell us about your childhood? Tell us about your childhood. Tell us where you were born. Tell us how you started riding.
Okay. Let's see. So I was born at Stanford Hospital in Palo Alto, California. So grew up in the Bay Area, moved to Marin County before preschool, and then started riding at 6. So my grandparents recommended a horse camp to my parents. And at the time, there actually were horses allowed in Tiburon, California, which is crazy now because it's basically an island. There's no longer horses there. But we ended up, I went to camp, and honestly, the first day that I went to camp, I remember I was in tears. I didn't want to get out of the car. And it's the only time my mom has ever forced me to do something. And she said, I paid for this. You're getting out and you're going. And it was the best thing she'd ever done, because from basically that day on, I was hooked. And so that was where I started. Was your
So before she dropped you off, have you done anything with horses?
No, never.
Oh, wow. Okay, here it goes.
Yeah. I think it was probably the anxiety piece of it as opposed to the animals, because I was excited about the animals, but it was a camp with a bunch of 6, 7, 8-year-olds. So yeah.
Okay, and then so you started riding there at the camps, and then what year in school are you?
Ooh.
At high school?
At 6?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I saw your math.
Really smart.
I saw your math too. I know you're a high IQ girl.
She went through the accelerated process.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
6,
through
7, 8, 10.
elementary, middle school, and then just kept going on from there. I was in the same place.
Yeah. Okay. So then take us a little further then. So when's your first horse show?
So it was actually at the camp. So the way the camp worked was essentially you would get rated on, we would clean 6 or 7 stalls. We'd get rated on the stalls, and then we would ride, 4 or 5 horses, get rated on grooming. So kind of just all of the basic things that honestly, I feel like are kind of hard to come by nowadays. I have people ask me like where they should start. And I feel like that was just an amazing foundation for me, and definitely helped with my work ethic and then understanding of just care for horses.
Let me interrupt for a second. One question. So how did they teach you how to clean stalls? And then do you have your own little technique of cleaning stalls, like at the shows or whatever, if you have to clean it? And does something bother you when someone cleans it for you?
So the biggest thing that they were focused on is not getting rid of the shavings. So trying to get as little shavings in the wheelbarrow as possible. I don't remember, other than here's the pitchfork, go clean the stall. I don't remember any specific techniques, but someone actually in my recent years commented on one of my videos, oh, you should throw the poop against a wall. And that will basically separate it from the shavings. And so I tried that, and that was actually kind of a good technique.
You build a little pyramid, right?
Yeah,
you turn it up and it rolls down it. That's
exactly. I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind if someone cleans the stall. I'm not super particular, but I don't like when there's pieces left.
Here, so one of my assignments for the last 2 days is clean my one stall, right? And my girlfriend's a little picky, right? And so it's like, oh my God, like I'm a guy, right? So I'm just winging it a little bit. I'm doing the best I can. I got 3 dogs supervising me, but I know you guys, perfectionist girls, have things should be pretty perfect. So I just wonder if there's something that they taught you there, or something that bugs you about someone else cleaning your stall for you. Like, no.
I don't think so. I mean, I guess I've never had someone clean my stall and do just a horrible job. I think then I might be upset, but at least they tried.
I get it. Okay. So tell us about your first horse show.
Okay.
What kind of class they have at the camp?
Yeah. So basically they had a bunch of lesson horses, and if you showed interest in showing, they had a show locally. It was called Dixon Ranch. And it was not the camp's horse show. It was a legitimate schooling show. And we did Western and English. And so my first horse show, I have a photo actually, I looked at the other day. I want to say that the equitation at like 6 years old. And some of they had bareback classes, all sorts of kind of fun, random schooling show classes.
How many kids are at the camp?
At the camp, probably 20 to 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so then, but there weren't that many people who wanted to show. So I would say there were probably a group of 5 of us, 5 to 6 or so, who would go to the horse shows. And we showed in, I mean, actually the all around, if you will, of the school.
Okay. So, well, I'm going to ask you this because I know. So after during the horses, because let's go to high school, right? Because I'm curious. You have horses and then you have drag racing.
Oh yeah.
Seems kind of interesting pair
I'm
of
really interested in this.
Yeah.
So tell me how you got involved with the drag racing at 16, 17 years old, and what did you do with the horses while you're drag racing?
So they didn't really interfere because they had what was called Wednesday night drags. And so it was at Sonoma Raceway. And it was something actually my dad had done when he was in high school. We went to the same high school, and then he drag raced at the same track. So he kind of got me involved in that. And it was essentially a quarter mile, and you could race whatever car you had. So it was pretty cool because you could show up. I was in the high school division. So they had different divisions. They had high school, they had like street, manual. So depending on what kind of car you had, you would go against people in a similar group. Although with high school being high school, it could be, I mean, anything all over the map.
Can I ask you what you drove?
Yeah, I drove a 2004 BMW 330 Ci.
Atta girl.
You didn't have paddle shifters back the Ford?
No. I mean, people would drive minivans. I was lucky enough to get to drive some of my dad's cars a few times, which was really fun. But it's interesting because in bracket racing, which is what it is, it doesn't matter what car you have. It really is focused on your time off the line because they stagger you. So I remember going against a Ferrari and winning in my BMW because they give you a really far head start. And if you're off the line fast enough, you win.
Oh, cool.
Across the line. So it was nice because it wasn't just, how much money can you spend on a crazy car?
Right.
It was like handicapped?
Yeah, basically on the time at which you select, and you can't beat your time. So the goal is to get as close to the time that you put on your car as possible. So if it's, a quarter mile in 13 seconds, and if you did 12:09, you lose. So you have to try to get basically as close as possible. And that's the skill.
I'm in. Okay. So you're still riding horses during the drag racing time, right? It doesn't interfere with it. So,
well, yeah, it's real interesting how you go from the need for speed to trail on an undersaddle, which I guess is faster, but not really that fast. Okay. Keep going, Tim. I'm interested to see how this is pan out.
Did you ever get to a horse trainer yet?
Let's see. So in high school, yes. So I finished out at the summer camp, and my friend Gina, actually, who I've been riding with literally since I was 6 years old, she stepped into the quarter horses, which is how I got into that, because whatever Gina was doing, I was going to follow because she was cool. So I was like, okay,
Gina's that's how it happens a lot. I've gotten a lot of clients like that.
So I followed Gina, and I went to Melissa Zanetti was my first quarter horse trainer. And Gina's actually still with her. So that was my introduction into the quarter horse world. And then I stayed in quarter horses since then.
So when you were with Melissa, what classes did you show in?
I did the showmanship. I did hunter under saddle, horsemanship, kind of just the all around classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Like what shows would you show at during your high school years?
Let's see. So we had like Del Mar, which I miss a lot.
Oh yeah, Del Mar is awesome.
Burbank, Golden Grand. I was trying to think whether or not I had been to Sun Circuit at that point. I'm not sure. Maybe not that early on, but we went to Oregon. That was always a really fun show.
Like did Galt or Walnut Creek have shows back then? Nevada?
Not that I did.
Rancho Marietta, probably, yeah.
Rancho for sure. Yeah. Sure. So kind of some more of the local stuff, Elk Grove, Rancho, things like that.
And so then, go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to chime in here and find out, like, at this point, did you have a idea of, like, were you starting to form with Melissa? Were you starting to form what your favorite event might be or become, or are you just like, I just want to learn all I can learn in all the different events?
It's a really good question. I honestly, it's hard to even think way back when, because now I'm like, whatever my horse excels at is what I find the most joy in. I think at that point, I really liked the showmanship. I was very focused on that. I would say that's probably been one of my favorite classes until recently.
That's pretty awesome, because I mean, typically the showmanship is the one class that I tell my clients, like, if you don't like it, you don't like doing it, then don't do it, because that's the one that's the hardest to get somebody to pull out of and pull into, to show it. And it's amazing they like it, and they're like, well, I don't, because they're not having success. Then all of a sudden they keep pushing through, they have success, they love it.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's like what you said was so honest, is like, well, it's kind of whatever I was doing good in was kind of like what I really enjoyed to do. But then you probably end up feeling like you were, whatever you put your mind to, you're going to be pretty good at.
Yeah, I think the showmanship was cool, because I think you don't have to have the nicest moving horse. So if you don't have all the money in the world, it was like, okay, well, I can really practice this and focus on this and get the partnership to a really good point. So I think, I just really liked how technical that class is.
Did you go Youth World, Congress, or anything like that during this time?
Youth World. So at that point, I mean, it's funny how goals evolve and change, but I essentially just wanted to go to the World Championship show. And then it evolved into, okay, I'd like to compete, with no expectations of making finals or really anything, just kind of getting the experience. And then I want to say I made, this was way back when there were 180 in the showmanship. And I made the semifinals, and it was 18 and under. I think I was maybe 14 at the time or so, maybe even 13. And I was elated with the semifinals, like so excited. And yeah, so that was sort of my first toe in the water of, starting to see the success and wanting more.
Sure.
So does that take us to school now, like college?
Ooh, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Is there anything in between then?
Like, did you go youth several times and then you went to college?
Were you with
Melissa? First Melissa.
Yeah. You were with Melissa all through your youth career?
I think I switched at the tail end of my youth. No, it must have been. No. I was with Nancy Renfro for, gosh, I don't know, maybe 4 years. I'd have to think back to the math there. But I did not end my youth career with Melissa.
Okay. We've established that.
Yes. So then I went off to college, and my parents sold my horse, and I was devastated.
Oh no.
Devastated. Wanted to continue competing. And they were like, no, you're gonna enjoy college. You're gonna do the sorority thing, blah, blah, blah.
Can you tell Bradford, because it's one of his favorites, what college you went to?
Oh, University of Michigan.
Ouch.
Oh no!
Sorry, people. We are cutting the feed early. I'm just
Ouch.
as long as I can do
in
this.
Ohio State. Yeah, I knew it. I
knew you'd like that, Brad. I knew you'd like that one.
You were holding that one back on me, Tim. You did not tell me that after you did your pre-interview. You were waiting till we were live.
And you're like right there with your ears up. I'm like, oh, here it goes. I'm going to go for it now.
Oh my goodness. Well, I won't hold that against you, man. Wow.
Oh, Michigan.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. And your father?
Oh yeah. So they sold my horse, and then 6 months into school, I was super depressed and wanted a horse. And so my mom, bless her, thankfully stepped up and helped me buy Danica, who I still own to this day. And so I really have only taken 6 months off since I was 6 years old, riding wise, of which were not my choice, but they were the circumstances.
I love it. Okay. So then you have a 6-month window there. So right out of college, do you go to work?
Yeah. So went straight to working for Google, actually, in Michigan. So I ended up spending 6 years in Ann Arbor.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It was cold, but so is Ohio.
That's what I was going to say.
But it's Ohio. It's not Michigan, but okay.
So what's the difference between West Coast, San Francisco, and Ann Arbor, Michigan?
Oh my gosh. Walking outside and making the mistake once that you didn't dry your hair and now your hair is icicles. It was so cold. It was fun though. It was a good.
That'd be a good video.
Yeah. Yeah. Very different, obviously. Climate wise, people are super different. Very nice in Michigan. Not that they're not nice in California, but Midwest in general seems to be a lot friendlier, slower paced. Yeah, it was a good time, but I was ready to.
Interesting clientele
in just Michigan.
Google.
Google. Yeah, really smart people, cool people, lots of different backgrounds.
Did we ask her about her degree? Did I miss that?
Ask her what.
Like what did you go to school for?
Neuroscience and political science double major.
So not marketing.
No. Totally unrelated to what it is I ended up doing. But I had an internship in college at a software company, survey software company, actually, called Qualtrics. And they were in Texas. So it was really convenient because one of the summers I got to spend in Texas doing the internship and then riding, which was amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
So during work, are you still with Nancy, or do you make a transition, or?
So let's see. I want to say it was actually maybe World Show 2017, early 2018. I went to High Point, and so then I was with them from there on out.
Okay, and so, well, I'm just curious, what's the difference between showing West Coast of California versus shown in Texas and Oklahoma over here, or everywhere when you come to High Point?
I mean, yeah, because we were showing all over. There's just not that much. I hope this doesn't offend people. Competition in California. I mean, there's just not a ton of people who are competing at that level.
We all moved.
Yeah, exactly. So it was awesome because, instead of, it's great to win first place all the time, but then you would go back to the World Show and just get obliterated because you don't know who you're up against. So it was awesome just to get that experience. And not to say, I mean, I did well at the World Show in 2017 and prior, but it was the next level of being able to compete in some of those spaces and really get to learn.
I keep interrupting. I apologize. Did you win a major event while you were a youth, or as an amateur?
Amateur.
And the first one was?
I want to say it was NSBA Ooh, I guess it depends. So a win, like blue win.
Well, like if you won an NSBA title, a Congress title, a World Show title.
Well, I won a reserve Congress title.
Okay, let's go there.
That was probably the first big win, so to speak. That was in the novice amateur equitation. That was under Nancy. And then my actual like win, I want to say, was the NSBA World Championship show in the maturity non-pro hunter under saddle. And then that same year, I did not win the Congress that year. I want to say the following year, I won the Congress. There was one year where I forgot to go back into the finals for the maturity non-pro hunter under saddle because I didn't hear my number. So that was a bummer. But the following year, I won that at the Congress and the limited as well. And then my first globe was first gold globe, I should say, was in the amateur pleasure driving at the 2020 AQHA World Championship show.
So where'd you get your driving from? Like, who taught you how to drive?
Oh my gosh.
Charlie Cole. That had to be Charlie.
I mean, that was a crazy story because Henry, the horse that I was showing about a dance, he is quirky and can be kind of a nutcase in the cart. And so, it was kind of scary. I remember Charlie and I got in the cart with him at High Point, and then the giraffes came out. So we were like 5 minutes in, and then Charlie was like, we better save ourselves. So we stopped. And then he's like, you'll be fine. So then we went to Arizona and he put me in the cart for the first time alone and I showed. So that was my driving experience. And then I want to say, I'm not even sure if there was another show between that and NSBA that year. I think I went straight to NSBA. I want to say I was reserve at NSBA and then won the world show that year. And I remember, I think Jason maybe was in the cart warming up. I can't recall. It was either Jason or Charlie. And both of them were there and handed me the horse and said, haha, good luck. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then when I walked out, I had won. And I remember this to this day. Jason was like, I have no idea how you pulled that off. And that was like the biggest compliment ever. Because he was a quirky horse.
That's another video.
Yeah.
It was a video back then, right? Those would be like the archive ones. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bradford, tell me where I should go here.
Well, we're going to, I'll tell you, we'll get our thoughts together. Couple teasers here. We do have a question that we'll get to, Willie, when we get back. I don't know if you're reading the comments or not. But right now we're going to go to a commercial. When we get back, Madison doesn't even know about this yet. We've got 10 rapid fire questions for you that she has not seen yet. And we'll go to those as soon as we get back from the break. So don't go anywhere. Here's a message from the Man of Trail.
One to go. Tim the Trailman here, the MOT, the Man of Trail for the Horse Show Network. And what I tell you about is the Horse Show Network. And what we have there, it's a collection of videos. I mean, Brad Jewett and Tim Camara, the Man of Trail. We have training videos, whether it be horsemanship and trail, which we are very strong in. We have other ones for ranch, hunter under saddle, showmanship. We have various different types of videos that you can have. You know, when I'm in the field, I do clinics all around the world, okay? But not everyone can attend my clinics. And most of the time, people are saying, where can I go get this information? Where there's just not so many trail videos. There's not so many horsemanship videos. But guess what? Here at the Horse Show Network, that's what we're compiling. We're compiling a bunch of different horsemanship videos, different trail videos. We're trying to push out new ones each month, okay? And today, I'm going to bring you a combination of two different obstacles. It's the back through and the box, and the 360 box. And today, we're going to bring you the shoot to shoot back through. Today, for the Horse Show Network, I'm going to bring you one of my favorite obstacles, the back through L. And today, for our Horse Show Network, we're going to work on the trot overs. And today, we're going to talk about the 360 box. And today, for our Horse Show Network, we're going to talk about some transitions, trot to lope and lope to trot. If you can't attend one of the clinics or one of my clinics, well then subscribe, watch the videos. Have a great day. You know what's so hard about that,
Today.
You know what's so hard about that? Changing clothes so many times.
You what?
Changing clothes so many times. You didn't see how many different shirts I had on?
I still didn't get what you said.
I said, didn't you see how many different shirts I wore during those?
Oh, yes. You're good at wardrobe change, I must say.
I went, there's like 8 shirts I thought I saw there. Holy Toledo. Wow.
You did good, Tim.
Okay, do I get to do the rapid fire? Or are you doing it?
Well, I got it right here, baby. I got it. Hold on a second.
You got the ball then.
I got it. Well, here, I'll put it up. And if you want to read it, you can read it. How about that?
You read it.
Ready, set. Wait, I got to get the right
10
music.
questions. Short answers.
That's the wrong music. That's the wrong music.
No pressure.
That's the wrong music. I'll find it here in a second. You got to have the right music. There we go.
Oh, man.
What's your favorite thing about your truck and horse trailer?
Oh, the flexibility to go wherever I want, whenever I want.
Okay.
Good answer. All right. She's good at this rapid fire question. Number 2. What is your go-to fast food spot in Cali? What do you usually order?
Ooh, I would say Chick-fil-A, and I get the grilled nuggets with the medium fry and a chocolate shake.
Stay away from those fried nuggets. Good girl. Good job. Number 3, which country or destination outside the U.S. gave you the most unforgettable experience?
Croatia.
Ooh. We'll have to ask that when we come back, Timmy. I want to know about Croatia. Good answer. All right. Number 4, which horse show class required the most prep for you?
Ooh, I'm going to say horsemanship because that was probably my worst class.
That takes a lot of prep. Okay. Next question. What types of music do you like to listen to when you're creating your video clips or brainstorming ideas?
Ooh, trick question. No music. I have to be really focused.
Ooh, Tim.
Oh.
Maybe you should. No, Tim's done it for too long with music. All right. Next question. Number 6. What's the best thing about living in Cali?
Weather. Hands down.
Yeah. I think it's good. Yeah. Good answer. And the survey says, no, just kidding. What is your favorite breed of dog?
Oh, that's such a hard one. I love them
That's
all.
hard.
I'm gonna have to go with a mutt.
Wow.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That doesn't sound like a cop out. That's good. It's good. And they are good dogs. Question number 8, 3 more left. While you're in Las Vegas, which show would you like to go see the most?
Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Waiting for this one.
She didn't hesitate on that one either.
Holy Toledo.
I have that frequent flyer ticket. Who knows? Maybe she got that off. Okay. 2 more questions. Number 9. Which airline have you had the most difficulties flying with?
I won't even fly Southwest because I might as well just not go on the trip. I never make it to the destination that I'm trying to get to. I don't know what it is.
I was hoping you weren't going to say American because I fly. That's all I fly.
Number 10.
Number 10, last one. And where is it? Hello.
You have it?
Why aren't you showing it?
There you go.
There it goes. Oh. Name 2 people you'd take on a trail ride with you in California.
2 people.
Only have 2. Only 2.
Yeah.
Any people?
Yeah.
Anybody.
Dead or alive. Dead or alive, even.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. No, this one's hard. You might have me stumped here. Now I'm okay.
On your California trail rides.
Yeah. Right there.
People I know or anyone?
Oh, no, it doesn't have to. It's anybody.
Okay, let's do Billie Eilish and Bella Hadid.
I would have never guessed those in a million years. Good job.
No
Right.
way.
Great job.
Good job. Good job. Wow. Wow.
That's how
I
well
was
you got
not
off the
expecting
opener.
that. I was not expecting that. Okay.
Hey, good
Here we
job.
go. So, oh wait, shoot. I got to go take that off. Hold on. I got to take that question off the screen. There we go. Okay.
How
So
long
now
is
we're going to get back to,
Well, I want to know about her business. Okay.
well, hold on. I want to get to Willie's question first, if that's all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Let's go here.
How did Madison?
Are you want to read it, Tim? Go ahead. I've been hogging the mic. Go ahead.
No, I don't. Yeah, I talk enough. You used to read it.
Okay. How did Madison handle her nerves through her show career? I have several clients that the nerves seem to take over their brains, and then it just goes from there. What did your trainers do to help that? FYI, I follow Madison, and my husband bought the Coro Christmas event because I saw she shared it and loved it, and she loved it. Thank you, Willie.
Ooh.
Thanks for following Madison. I follow her too.
Thank you. Biggest thing with nerves. I want to say that came from preparation. Like especially when I was riding with High Point, when I went to the show, I felt prepared before stepping foot on the showgrounds. And I felt like I could walk into the class, and my goal was to win the class, ideally. And I can't say that I've had felt that way in every single barn. So I think like strong preparation at home really made me confident. And then honestly, my nerves mostly were prior to getting into the show pen. Like once I was in the pen, other than the showmanship, when all of a sudden I start forgetting my pattern. I don't know what that is. I don't know.
That's just the way your eyes went up, like except you remember something poignantly there for sure.
Oh my gosh, I had a beautiful run at an SBA and just totally forgot the last half of the pattern. But anyway, I think preparation in advance for the show, and then also just treating it like another horse show. I think that's the biggest thing, and I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, is feeling like it's the end of the world, and especially at some of the bigger shows that they're, this is their one chance. And then I think something that my trainers told me too is just don't change anything about how you prep. So especially like if we would go into the arena and see someone practicing 8 times, well, if you practiced with my horse 8 times, they'd know the pattern, and at that point you're screwed. Right. So I think knowing your horse, knowing your prep, and sometimes even less prep might be better.
So don't you think, in my opinion here, okay, like at High Point, you have a multitude of trainers. If it was Beth, if it was Jason, if it was Charlie, and they have so much experience amongst those 3 that they already know what's probably going to happen, right? So I'm sure they're going to give you pretty good advice to prepare you to be relaxed when you get to that show. So I think just having the confidence of your trainer, telling to explain the situation before you get there. I talk about trail warm-up all the time. I told the girl the other day, I said, when you get to Las Vegas and you got all those novices going to try trail practice, it's a cluster. I would break that pattern up in a few pieces and just try to get that third done. And don't try to think you're going to go on that racetrack and go all by yourself, because you're going to get hit by so many different sides and people standing in your way. You're just going to get more mad than have confidence. And then your horse is going to get mad too. So I'm just saying that's experience on my part, but I know those 3 guys and girls, how well they coach, and they have, this is the way they do it, right? They prepare you to go show.
Yeah. And they're amazing. They're super smart with it too. Like if you have someone that's going to be overwhelmed by the trail warm up, for example, they might be like, we're not going to go at X time, or maybe we're not going to go at all because it's just going to stress you out and stress your horse out, or I think having a coach that is able to guide you through that and not just have a cookie cutter, this is we're doing this. We're going to go through the exact trail pattern. We're going to do every single thing. Is important for the nerves. Definitely having a coach that can help you.
Okay, my wife has a question.
Okay.
What's your horse's favorite spot to be massaged on?
Oh man.
It's totally a Monica Brandt question, by the way. Oh,
Really?
she knows. She'd go through this barn and go, oh, this one likes it here. This one likes it here. Yeah.
I would say top of the neck, like sort of not at the pole, but like below the pole and then down to the right. So like really.
That's very specific.
Yeah, it is. It is. And she doesn't really like when you are brushing there, but if you start getting into that spot, then she likes it. So.
You have a video of that?
What'd you say?
Yeah, I have done a few massage videos, so I'm sure there's.
Maybe that's one my wife watched, so that's why she asked that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I dig in now?
Yes, sir. Rock and roll, buddy.
Limitless marketing management. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Tell me how that starts, how it started, and then what it does.
Yeah. So after college, I worked for Google in the paid ads space, basically just helping businesses with Google ads. And then I decided after 2 years at Google that I wanted to come back to California. Started the pandemic, decided to start my own business. And so basically I do what I was doing at Google, but on my own, which is work with companies on their paid strategy with both Google ads, also Facebook ads, and some LinkedIn. And essentially just working with businesses on either getting more sales or more leads, kind of depending on what the business is looking for.
So you've done that since 2008?
Let's see, since it's been 5 years.
5 years, yeah, 2020. That's when Keep It Real started, right?
That's right. COVID had some good parts.
Yeah, exactly.
And then is that a little easier as a job because you can do your horses a little bit better in horse showing and you go out, you don't have to go to the office all the time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, there was sort of a peak where it made it harder because I was growing my business. And so then as my business was growing, I had less time for the horses, but more money, but less time. And so it was like this balancing act of needing to take a step back from competing at the level that I was competing at. But now being able to balance my schedule and I have my kind of core group of clients, it makes it awesome because I really get to schedule my day, whether that's riding at 11 a.m. and then working at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. or 1 p.m. And then deciding if I want to go to Las Vegas, for example, from the 5th to the 17th, which is an insane amount of time. I can do it because I can work from the South Point Hotel and Casino, which I will be doing. So yeah, it's been awesome to be able to have. I've always known that I was going to need a job that could pay for this, and also simultaneously allow me time to be able to compete and spend the time that I want with the horses.
We could probably dig into that a little bit more, Tim, because that's just that's the eternal amateur struggle right there, right? When you're going from youth and then, okay, mom and dad have helped you through this part and now you're going to get on your own. And so it's awesome to see how you've obviously give your parents a lot of credit on that because you've learned how to be able to balance your budget and get your feet on the ground and take care of yourself, and you pulled back and now you're slowly kind of dipping your toe back in the show work. Because I'm assuming you're talking about the pinnacle in level ones. That's what you're going to do. Awesome.
Exactly.
I'll be there for the level ones. I'm not going to be able to make it for the pinnacle, but
cool.
We'll have to catch up out there.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about how you started making videos. How do you put this into your time?
Yeah. How do I have time for it? So I started way back when I brought my horse home, actually, from Texas. I did not have any intention of making videos, but my friend Gina, the same one I grew up riding with, was like, oh, you should there's like a couple equestrian content creators, but I feel like you'd be really good at that. And I was kind of like, I don't really want to, I don't know about that.
I think everybody does. I think, well, your age and older, probably that way. But now the kids are like, yeah, I want to do it.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. I'm already busy with my business and all of these things. And I kind of, for a second, was a little hesitant because I didn't want it to take the joy out of riding, because sometimes when you mix work and your hobby, it can. Thankfully, it has not. But I was a little worried about that. So I just started by posting cute horse videos of, my horse doing something, and they started taking off, and I thought, oh, that's kind of fun. And then it slowly evolved, and I credit my friend Gina a lot, because she did come up with a lot of video ideas of like, well, what about this? People would want to know how you do this. And as I was navigating also having my horse and caring for my horse completely on my own for the first time, I thought it would be interesting to basically show that process, because I was learning, what does my horse eat? Like, how much hay?
Right.
What's the grain? Do I blanket? Do I not blanket? Because the place that I took her was a boarding facility. So, for all intents and purposes, I did everything other than clean the stall and feed. But any sort of management, care, training program, schedule was me. And it was very overwhelming. I remember talking to Charlie about it, because I was trying to decide if I wanted to leave my horse in Texas. And he was like, take your horse home. Like, I would. And I was like, oh, but what if I can't, what if she dies in the night, or there's no one there? And he's like, there's only so many things you can prevent. And we do X amount of night checks, and just was very reassuring, and had a lot more confidence in me than I did in myself in terms of horse care. That's for sure. And it was a learning curve, but that was something that I felt like was something that I hadn't seen anyone post about ever, of like, how do you have a farrier, they mess up your horse's feet, now what? How do you pick a vet? How do you figure all these things out? And so I just was like, well, I'm not an expert in any of this, so no one can yell at me if I'm posting just my experiences on the internet about how I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so then I'm jumping in.
Yeah.
So what's the most controversial or viral video that you've done?
I would say probably the one about how much all of it costs. And I did that video when I brought my horse to that facility. And there were a lot of comments just about how ridiculous that is. And also people making comments like, I pay $75 a month for my horse. And I'm just like, where are these people? Right. But I know that California is quite expensive. So in comparison, it looked wild. But I mean, I also made a note that I spend probably more on my horses. I mean, and you could spend endless money, obviously, on the horses, but more than the average horse owner would be spending. And so there were a lot of opinions.
Sure.
So I'm curious.
Their perspective was not your perspective, right? Like, yeah. But I'll just real quick, Tim, and I want you to keep going. But like, what you got out of that whole experience, you kind of can't put a price tag on, in a sense, And you were such a part of, like, you wanted to, like you said. How did you not get nervous? Is all the prep that you did and what you learned through it and all that. So, okay, Tim.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm curious about the banana toy, because, okay, like, what happened to that?
Tim was stalking you, I believe. He's gone through your videos. I like it.
So I saw this one, and you got so excited about this toy because my girlfriend likes to buy toys for her horse also. Okay, so I'm curious how the banana toy went down with your horse, and then I'll ask you another question after that.
Okay. I love the banana toy, and I like it because my horse is pretty elusive. Like, she's sort of like, I'll put a toy in there and I know that she's, maybe bumped it around a bit, but I can never quite catch her doing it. And I remember coming back and the banana was just demolished. And I was so excited because she had played with the banana. I'm like, oh my gosh, finally something, because I've tried the Jolly Ball and all sorts of different things. And I'm like, come on, like why does my horse want to play with things? So that's what was so exciting about that. And then it ended up actually creating quite the domino effect. There are a lot more bananas in my barn now. I would say there's like 5 bananas, a cupcake, a teddy
trendsetter
bear.
You are.
Oh yeah. So now we're the stuffed animal barn. And then I got a little sprout for her turnout. So yeah, I think the toys are cute. It's like that she plays with it.
Have you ever heard of putting a mirror inside your horse's stall?
I haven't thought about that, but
well,
I'm sure that they would.
It sounds like you've got a story, Tim.
Over in Boulderville here, okay, because her horse Deuce doesn't like to be by himself, right? So she saw that. I don't know how she figured this out, but he's got like 2 mirrors in his stall, so it looks like there's another horse in their stall, and they like to look at it. It's kind of funny.
That's hysterical.
I know your horse sounds prissy like that, so maybe you should get a mirror for your horse. I don't know.
Yeah.
Think about that. I was trying to help you, right?
That's awesome.
Okay, so before I go on with this, so I'm gonna tell you the videos I watched. So I've watched this video of this horse in the water. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't want to go out of the water. Like, do you just tell your horse, okay, I would like you to roll in that water. I would like you to stay in that water. How do you, like, I make my dogs do stuff like that. I get it. But like, how do you make the horse do that?
That was the luckiest video in the world. I mean, I had no idea that she was going to do any of that. I knew that she liked puddles and would always paw at puddles when we would be riding in the rain. And then I just decided, because when do you have that large of a body of water unless you're actually taking your horse to water? I kind of just wanted to see what she was going to do. So I let her go, and that was all her. I definitely didn't train that. I had to kind of rein it in towards the end because I didn't want her to get hurt, but it was very cute. And I would love to actually go into a body of water, because clearly
we used to swim our horse in the river. They loved it.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. That's pretty fun. I would think you would have done that like at the camps or something like that. You guys California too, go in the ocean, right? I've seen them go in the ocean when we were down south before and stuff like that. So 2 things on the video stuff. Like, what's a good time allowance for a video, and what do you think makes a video interesting for people to hit?
Ooh, that's it kind of depends on the kind of video. Usually mine are around a minute. Yeah. And it's an attention span thing. I mean, depending on what the topic is. I think if you go further than a minute and a half for, we're talking short form videos, you can lose people, but it also just depends on what you're talking about. Sometimes people will sit and listen for 10 minutes. But for the most part, sweet spot of kind of the minute and under a minute and a half is usually what my videos are.
Can you tell me another one? Of course, I watched your videos because I'm stalking you now. So I'm watching you price out the outfits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I go for a person who doesn't even get this or doesn't know what we do, right? Like, you go to that rack and you start pulling them off and you start pricing them out. I'm going, holy Toledo, someone's going to die here. Like,
yeah.
How do you phantom that? I mean, you would think that a lot of people, did you have a lot of funny comments on that, or was it just normal?
I think it depends on who it reaches. So like, it could go one of 2 directions. Yeah. I don't know what it looks like now, because sometimes it'll reach one audience and then it'll reach another, and then people feed off each other. So if there's one comment that's ridiculous, then if someone else doesn't comment like, oh, that's actually really reasonable, then everyone is like, this is insane. So, I mean, I don't know. Engagement is good. And I think that my content typically does reach a lot of people who are in the industry. Mm-hmm. And then when it reaches those that aren't, if there's enough people that are in the industry that comment, then I don't know. it's just tons of different opinions depending on who it is that sees the video.
Do ideas come to you, or do you think of the idea?
Both. I would say, like, sometimes I'll just sit in my office and look at my trophies and look at my ribbons and look at clothes, and then stuff just comes to me as I'm kind of sitting looking at horse things, or I'll just think about, like, okay, what's coming up soon? Okay, I'm gonna go, to Vegas. So maybe I start thinking of, well, what am I doing to prep for that? I'm gonna have to load the trailer. I'm gonna have to my horse needs shoes, whatever that looks like. So a combination of coming up with kind of like the videos that I do just talking to the camera, and then videos where I'm actually like, hey, I'm going to start prepping for this, or I'm going to film my ride today because I have a jumping lesson and, I want it filmed.
Do you script it, or is it all ad lib, like right out of your brain?
Nothing scripted. I find that it feels too scripted. Yeah, I mean, it's just whatever comes out, and then some things I'll cut out when I edit it. But for the most part, yeah, I just will come up with a topic, unless it's something that is technical, or I'm talking about like a specific product that I need to refer to make sure I'm not saying something that's incorrect, or like a scientific term or something like that. But typically I'm not the one necessarily talking about those things. I'll be interviewing vets or people like that. So I try to make sure that whatever I'm saying is not some sort of expert person's
right. But topic. You definitely can tell you do your homework, like your video you did for the Congress. Didn't you do one did you go to WEC too and do a tour of that, or am I thinking?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did that too, right? And so all those just educational, and again, it's a niche for you because you know what people in the industry kind of really want to know, and so that's a really cool approach to take to it.
What do your friends think?
Depends on the friends. I mean, most of them love it. I think even people who aren't really into horses whatsoever like it because people like animals. So I have friends who literally don't know anything about competing, and they'll be like, I watched your video. I'm so sorry Danica didn't get pregnant, and they've never ridden a horse. So it's really fun. I think I like that aspect of it because people enjoy it whether or not they're into horses or not. And I think that's also part of the reason I do it too, is exposing people to the industry of riding horses and what that's all about.
So, I like it because it gives it I probably like it more because you shine a light on what we do in the quarter horse world a lot. But then the other passion of mine is allowing people that maybe can't afford a trainer and give them options to be able to do. You've been there, and now you're like you said, you had to step back and you're doing it on your own now. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool that you kind of shined a light upon that.
I think that's something that I, especially after taking a step back, wish more people knew there were opportunities for people who work hard and make good relationships with people and are kind. Like the opportunities that have fallen into my lap because of the connections I've made. The jumping trainer I work with, I train her to lesson horses for her students. And she's like, hey, I have this client who has this jumper who's just kind of sitting there, and he's, do you want to show him? And it's like, I could never afford to be in a full-time training English barn for, minimum $7,000 a month. And that's not shows. So I think it's just nice to be able to show, and I work off some of my bills, working for my trainer, training her horses, and doing, the things that I can do to be able to then get lessons from her on a true jumper. So yeah, I'm very aware and also passionate about that because I have been in a position where I'm privileged enough to have competed at the top, and then also understand that there's a lot of people who can't.
Yeah, that's special. That's a real, it's a gifted spot to be in for sure. And there was something else I was going to say about that, but it's just it's a cool spot to be in. You're shining a light on a lot of good stuff.
What's changed from doing all around events to going into the hunter and jumper industry?
Mm-hmm.
Like
just
people.
Oh, like what's different?
Yeah.
Everything. I would say it's more expensive, which is insane to say. Literally insane. Just ridiculous. And I think that's, in terms of people, I mean, I like the people in the quarter horse world more. I think it's more inviting. I think they're nicer. I think there's a little bit of a stuck-up attitude. This is total generalization, but just based on my experience of being in the quarter horse world versus being at some of the hunter jumper shows, it's a lot more kind of in your face wealth. Not that obviously we have a lot of wealth in the quarter horse space, but it's not as flashy. I think that the shows at the English, on the English side of things, I think we could learn a lot from the shows and how they are structured. Like we have the amateurs on the weekends, which is amazing because for those working amateurs, I would show Friday, Saturday, Sunday versus Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. So that was a really nice piece of that. I mean, I could go on a tangent about this, but we have all classes. What's that?
Now, what you just mentioned is our Prairie Classic show, because at Prairie Classic, right, the open guys show the trail on the Wednesday, Thursday, do halter on Friday, and then the amateurs and youth show Saturday, Sunday. So there's a few shows out there that try to make that happen. I'm sure they get from something like that, and it's definitely tricky. I mean, because I just know there's a lot of associations that are amateur driven. So they try to weigh the youth and amateur, if it's not summertime, to be on the weekend stuff, right?
Yeah. No, and that's great. And it's harder with the all around, I recognize too, because we show like in the hunter show, I mean, I'll show, twice, maybe max, versus some of the big shows, you're showing at least 3 times, at the Sun Circuit in each class. So, there's positives and negatives, but I think that, I don't know, they're just different. There's just different crowds.
Okay, I'm going to sidebar real quick before we finish this up. So if I was going to give you an example for like a video for those amateur ladies and stuff like that, don't take this wrong, okay? You need to have this.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
No, here it goes. You should have this video on how to train your boyfriends and husbands to act at the horse show, because it's all about 2 minutes of that day to make sure you film that you're a girl.
That's amazing. That is a good idea. I love that.
You better know where I go. You better know what I look like. We all look the same. You better know when I'm in the draw, and you better be there to film it and be at the right angle.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I see so many husbands and boyfriends out there. I've stayed here all day for 2 minutes. Yep. Or 1 minute. Right. And you didn't video. Make sure you video landscape. Okay.
Yeah. It's a privilege.
There's so much pressure. And then when you come out, don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Do not ask her how she did. Do not say a word.
Yeah.
Okay. If she asks you something, fine. If she doesn't say anything, stay away.
Yeah.
If she wants to see the video, let her watch the video. Okay. I'm going to tell you, it's a viral video because all these guys can't figure out how we wait all day long, or then we have to watch the practice. Okay. How about us guys have to watch the practice? What? We can't go eat? No, we still got work for tomorrow.
And it's usually trail practice.
I'm just saying, I'm visualizing your videos. I said, they need that because the guys don't know. They don't understand. The husbands don't know. What do you mean? You got to find the work order. You got to know who's in front of me. Make sure you get me at the cone. Don't like me. One time I missed it by a mile, but I'm just saying, what a great video because they don't know. We're dumb.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than that looked great and you went off pattern or just completely butchered something.
I picked the wrong diagonal. Oh, you did?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. Don't even go there. Don't even say nothing. Do not say. You might ask the trainer. Was that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. A safer direction to get there, right?
Coming from a horse trainer, you know how many parents do that to me after they video? Was that good?
Yeah.
And then they go, and then they're like, okay, I'll go show them their video then.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, at least they ask you on behind the scenes.
They've learned because exactly what Tim just said.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Okay. And then that's my last question, really. Okay. Does each video you make have to be better than the last video, or does it matter? Are you just having fun making videos?
No, it would be a lost battle if each video had to be better than the next, honestly. And a lot of them have different agendas, so to speak. So there's some where I'm like, okay, I want to make a viral video, and there's others where I want to focus on a topic that I think is really important or educational. So yeah, I mean, I just try to produce quality content, and sometimes, you know, stuff goes viral, sometimes it doesn't. But I think just trying to come up with things that people either want to learn about or are interested in, or that's just funny.
Yeah.
I'm saying I lied. I have one more question.
That's okay.
I know.
What advice do you have for do-it-yourself amateurs out there that don't have a trainer, i.e. going to Las Vegas or just going to a show that's not Congress or the World Show, but going to a show, big show? What advice would you have for those type of people that might not have a trainer, just like your videos, kind of? As an amateur, come from the all-around. We'll call it the all-around too.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of resources that are out there if you dig for them, like, videos on
Horse Network.
Right. Exactly. There's your plug. But really, I think there's a lot of resources like that. Personally, I read the rule book for the hunters because my trainer, my jumper trainer, she's also my friend. She was like, I want to go to Vegas. Let's go. So she's coming with me, which is awesome. But she doesn't know anything about the quarter horse space, and I don't expect her to sit there and read up on it and learn for me because I'm doing, when I was at High Point or those places, it's like, okay, well, you expect because you're in a full-time training barn that they'll help you along the way. But yeah, I sat and I read the rule book for the hunters all the way through and the jumpers. And so I think, my advice would be to kind of do your homework on things like that to make sure that you don't miss out on points or, I was like, oh, how do I know if the bid I'm using is okay or not? So then I looked at the rule book and sure enough, it's fine. And then I think not being afraid to ask people for help too, or another set of eyes. And I think that's what's great about the quarter horse industry too, is I do think there's quite a lot of trainers who are willing to help some of the DIY people and figuring out kind of who those people are. Maybe you decide you want to stall with someone and they're open to, helping you at a particular show, for example.
Or like ride the pattern too.
Right. Ride the pattern. I think there's just, that goes back to resources. And also part of the reason why I do videos too is just to not feel totally alone. If you feel like, oh, I don't really know what product to use for, I don't know, my horse's hooves.
Let me ask you this one then. What's the best thing that an amateur can do to save money?
Oh my gosh. In general, with horses?
What can someone do to save a few dollars?
Split your hotel room. I would say that's the biggest one. And that's what I would do kind of throughout all of the years of showing. Splitting the cost of lodging is huge. I think that makes a big difference because that ends up being really expensive. And then if we're talking like really do it yourself, you could learn to braid and band if you wanted to. I think some of those things are kind of the smaller costs that to me, I just bite the bullet because it's going to look a hot mess if I try to do either of those things. So I try to focus on kind of the big expenses. Like I have a truck and trailer now, so I don't have to pay for hauling. That's a big one. Yeah. Not everyone obviously can buy a truck and trailer, but there are ways. And I think splitting hotels and fees is really helpful.
Okay. Good answer. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, Bradford, I'm handing it.
Oh, that was just right off the cuff right there.
Yeah, that's good.
I wasn't prepared for that, him.
Okay, I got something else then.
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
You ever get burnout?
I knew you would.
Do you get burnout, or what do you do to turn it off? Turn work off, turn horses off,
burnt out like horses or work?
Horses, work, both. I mean, you guys, you're wired like this, so you have so many things that are attached to each other, so everything's attached. Where are you gonna do this? Where are you gonna go? Da 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 da. Where are you gonna eat? What's for dinner? What do I need to load? Does my horse need to go to vet? Horseshoeing, da da da.
Mm-hmm.
How do we go off and just watch something, do something?
Yeah. I mean, so I have days where I go to the barn and then days where I don't. And so I pay my jumping trainer to take care of my horse on the days that I'm not out there. It's not a necessity because they'll go out and to turn out and they'll get fed, etc. But from just like a care perspective, she hand walks her for me and does her supplements, things like that. So that's something that I do for myself, especially because it's a commute to get down to the barn for me. And I need some time to be relaxed at home and also time for kind of head down business work. And then, TV, hanging out with friends. I think I definitely got burnt out from showing towards the end. And now I'm doing it in a different way that allows me to show when I want to show and not really worry about, going to novice. Okay, sure. I could do the Western riding if I wanted to. I could do the horsemanship. I'm not going to because I'm just going to focus on my horse doing the jumping. And so I think looking at showing in a totally different lens and just kind of doing what my horse wants to do, doing what I want to do, taking it really casually, having low expectations, which is something that's new. And so, yeah, I would say in terms of burnout, that's gotten a lot better because I've been able to sort of just chill a little bit and focus on what I want to focus on.
It's good.
That's good.
It's good. That brings up a lot of interesting, good points. Because you've hit all different points in your show career, and it's kind of coming back to what we say a lot is this is kind of supposed to be for fun sometimes.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
And so you kind of brought all that back to full circle. And like you said, you could do the trail, you could do the Western riding, the horsemanship or whatever, but that may take a little bit of the fun out of it for you being in Vegas, And so I think that's an important piece to follow. And I think just watching a lot of your videos, that's one thing that you bring is fun. We joked with you about, watch your eyes. And like Tim, like, you practice it? Like, nope, it's just me. It's who I am. But there's just some, what's the word? Sincerity. Like when I watch your videos, they're real. You know what I mean? You're not just like tonight. Like it's all the same thing. And so that's what shows through in your videos. And I think you're doing a really good service for all horses, and not just the quarter horse, but for the 100 jumpers, and bringing light into so many different things and allowing most people, I know you got the haters out there.
Everyone.
Most people just finding the positive in what you're doing. So keep on keeping on for sure. For sure. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Madison, and everybody for watching. Thank you very much. Those that are going to be watching, if you haven't liked, push that like button at the bottom. Please do so. That helps out our show. And if you haven't seen Horse Show Network yet, go to horseshownetwork.com. What, Tim?
Her Instagram?
Yeah, if you want to share any of your, how do people find you and watch your videos if they haven't?
Yeah, it's Madison TN Equine, all one word. And that's basically across all socials. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and then my Facebook is my name. So it's Madison Nirenstein, which should pop up.
I said Stein. Sorry.
It's okay. Either or.
Very good.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you, everybody. We got one more message coming at you, and then we're going to sign off. Thank y'all for watching the Keeping It Real Show.
Hi, this is Brad Jewett for the Keeping It Real Show. And I want to ask each and every one of you if you would subscribe to the Keeping It Real Show here on our Facebook page. Like any other production, it always costs a little bit to put on. So every subscription that we have for a very minimal fee, it helps us to offset those costs to keep bringing you quality program every single week. And now, Mr. Man of Trail Tim Kimura and myself, Brad Jewett.
Okay, Madison. Thank you so much. That's fun.
Yeah, thank you. That was great.
I'm trying to end this thing. I'm trying to figure it out here.
Why don't you make that boyfriend video?